Please subscribe and you can download this code from description below. Title: Comparing user input against MySQL database values in Python. Introduction. In this tutorial, we will explore how to compare user input against values stored in a MySQL database using Python. This process is commonly used in applications where user authentication or data validation is necessary. We'll use the mysql-connector-python library to connect to the MySQL database and perform the required operations. Prerequisites. Step 1. Set up a MySQL database. Before we start coding, create a MySQL database and a table for demonstration purposes. For this tutorial, let's create a table named users with columns username and password. Step 2. Connect to the MySQL database in Python. Now, let's write a Python script to connect to the MySQL database. Step 3. Get user input and compare with database values. Now, let's take user input for username and password and compare it against the values in the users table. Conclusion. This tutorial demonstrated how to compare user input against values stored in a MySQL database using Python. You can extend this example to implement user authentication in your applications. Make sure to handle user input securely, such as using hashed passwords, to enhance security in real-world scenarios. ChatGPT. Title: Comparing user input against MySQL database values in Python. Introduction. In this tutorial, we will explore how to compare user input against values stored in a MySQL database using Python. This is a common scenario in web development, where user input needs to be validated against data in a database. We'll use the mysql-connector-python library to connect to MySQL and perform the necessary database operations. Prerequisites. Step 1. Install the mysql-connector-python library. Step 2. Set up a MySQL database and table. Step 3. Python code to compare user input against database values. Explanation. Note: replace your username and your password in the code with your actual MySQL username and password. This tutorial provides a basic example of how to compare user input against MySQL database values in Python. Depending on your application, you may need to implement additional security measures, such as password hashing and sanitation of user input, to enhance the security of your authentication system. ChatGPT.